I'm sure you've been asked this a lot, but how was it to play the role of your father? What went through your mind when you first heard that a TV series was to be made about this story?
But when I first heard it, I definitely didn't think I was going to be playing my dad. And when 50 Cent brought it to me and told me that he wanted me to get ready for the role to play my dad, it sounded off the wall to me. Like I wanted to do it, but didn't know how to act. So I had to go through acting school. I had to go through a year and a half, almost 2 years of acting school and learn how to act first. So that was challenging, but I got through it. And once I really learned how to act, I could fall into the role of my father better. So I'm talking to my dad every night. He's telling me, all the stuff that he faced back then in the 1980s in Detroit, all the violence and all the drug infested communities that he was in. And, it wasn't a lot of opportunities for somebody 16, 17 years old black in Detroit back then. So he dropped out of school and, me and him lived two different lives. I grew up in 2000 in private school. So I had to now tie, I had to now fall into, that and really learn what my dad went through and put myself in his footsteps, because we lived totally two different lives. So it was a lot of challenges, but I got through it and I learned a lot of stuff in the process. I learned how to act. I learned, I learned a lot of stuff about my dad that I didn't know about his childhood and everything. And I felt like once I really learned the foundation of acting, it helped me fall into the character of my dad better. And once I got on set, I was comfortable. Once I really knew what I was doing, I was comfortable. So I hope everybody loves it because I really, bust my ass, tried 100% every scene.
How important is it to let people know this story also in light of the events that we've seen this past year, like Black Lives Matter?
It's very important just because we don't have a TV series or a movie, I feel like on TV, on television, that's like BMF. BMF isn't a drug, it's not just a drug dealing series. It's a series about soul, about family, about brotherhood, about loyalty. It's a series about one family that grew up in a two-parent household, mom and dad, two brothers and a sister. Their family, their mom and dad was just too poor, worked 2 and 3 jobs, and still couldn't afford to pay the bills. And it's about the two brothers not wanting to see their family go into poverty and wanting to help their family make a way out because there was no other way. So I hope people can understand the read between the lines and understand the real the inside of the story, like the real feeling of the story, because it's more to it than just what you are seeing. So I feel like people can really get connected to the connections between the family members and between me and my mom and me and my brother, because we all love each other, and we all want to help each other elevate. So it's a big story that's very needed in our culture because a lot of families can connect to it, no matter what race or ethnicity you are around the world. It's still a family story. So I feel like a lot of people will definitely feel connected and love the story itself.
Can you tell us about the city of Detroit, which is very important to the story and also plays as a character of its own in the show?
Yes, people, again, there isn't anything out that really shows people how Detroit was back then, especially in the 1980s, because it was a whole different era than it is 2021 right now. And it was a whole different life. Like my dad, 16, 17 years old, him and everybody else, all the boys, that were in the Detroit back then, they were wearing like they were wearing shoes, Adidas top ones, and with the tongue hanging out, and leather pants, and the clothes, the fashion was just different itself, and the music was different because there was no words in the music. It was like EDM house music, like it's techno music basically. It's no words. When they went to the club and went to parties, no words. So it's a lot of stuff that people will get to catch on just from the era back then. It wasn't like regular 2021. No 16, 17-year-olds are walking to school and walking over dead bodies and stuff like that. Like where it's just drugs in every street in every community. Like it was like Iraq. Like it's different. So people will really get to understand like how Detroit was back then and how it was just in the 1980s and growing up.
As I said, the 80s were a completely different era. Uh, Do you think that the American dream that they were chasing back then has changed today? Is it different from the one that your father and your uncle had in mind?
I feel like, and my dad always tells me this is his American dream. He told me this on set right before we wrapped. He was so happy just because he was hearing all the good things that I was doing good. But this is his American. He doesn't care that he doesn't have any regrets. He doesn't care that he's in jail right now. He cares about me being able to have a legit job and tell his story in the eyes that he always wanted to be told. My dad always wanted this. He always wanted people to know the real him. And now for me being able to reap the benefits of what he and my uncle did, and help so many people and give so many people opportunities and do so much good within the world. So now I'm able to have a job in acting and being able to lead the whole TV series. It gets no better than that. That's his American dream. So he always tells me that, and I hope people can see that, too. So this is what he always wanted. He always wanted people to see the real about his family too, because people don't know.
Of course, the show marks your acting debut. How was, in general, this first experience, and is an acting career foreseeable in your future?
Yes, I feel like this is what I was placed on earth to do. I love acting. And before I started acting, I didn't really know what I was going to do in life. But when I started acting, I didn't just feel like it was for me as soon as I started. I had to fall into it and really feel comfortable and know what I was doing. And now that I've been on set and done 2 shows, I feel like this is what I'm meant to be, because I love doing it. I love every day waking up, going to set. It wasn't one day I felt like I didn't want to do it anymore. I love doing it. And it's something I can see myself doing for the rest of my life. And I that really, that's what it is.